We believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial and sick that must be stopped.
Attorney John Harris revealing the accusations against Motown legend Smokey Robinson.
I will not describe the details of the assaults and because they're too graphic and disturbing for this news conference.
All four of Robinson's alleged victims have chosen to remain unnamed and are referred to as Jane Doe in the complaint.
Our four clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage.
In the very near future, no one is going to take SA seriously, and it's because of the people like the ones that are currently accused in Smokey Robinson. 23 assaults. You've worked for him for numerous years, 0 police reports. It just gets to a point where now people's gut reaction is about to start being, yeah, she's lying, or he's lying. And it's the fault of people who move like this. I'm not saying that nothing happened between them and Smokey Robinson. I'm saying waiting multiple years to say anything about it, not filing any criminal charges, does not bode well. It doesn't look good. I'm always on the side of innocent until proven guilty, but I'm gonna be honest with you. So long as this is the way all of these things keep getting handled, I promise you, right now, that's how people are going to start reacting to all of this. Not to mention, what is 23 sexual assaults? Like, were you bound? Were you like tied up? Was there a ooh-wop to your head? Like, this is going to make people start asking more and more questions. We already know money is involved. You just hate to see it because now this going to go on his legacy. And then if he didn't do this, more people are going to start looking at every single case of SA and go, who cares? They must be after money. Tell you how to fix it though. If you get jail time for falsely accusing somebody, suddenly all of these cases will just evaporate. I promise you.
We're seeking damages of $50 million.
The complaint also claiming one of the Jane Does was first assaulted in 2007 and that these acts continued until she resigned in 2024.
Okay, so there's no way I can comfortably sit here and listen to this without very quickly stating the very obvious. If you guys haven't seen this headline that reads Smokey Robinson is being sued by 4 former housekeepers who alleged that he repeatedly assaulted them and raped them during their employment, then now you know. You know, I wait a little bit before I like immediately jump to the race conversation. And that's the problem I have with a lot of this, because I've said this on other posts, right? I was just going to assume that only black men in Hollywood at the height of their fame were doing some questionable things. I'm not calling them guilty here. But if you came up to me and said, hey, do you know that there are some questionable things going on in Hollywood? I would say, who doesn't think there are questionable things going on in Hollywood? There are questionable things in life. This one seems like an obvious money grab because how are you employed, continue to remain employed, but can't escape? And you tell me only the black men were involved in these type of horrible acts?
According to the complaint, Robinson's former housekeeper claims in the lawsuit that she was assaulted not even 2 months after she started cleaning the couple's Los Angeles mansion. Another Jane Doe claims Robinson started assaulting her in 2016, claiming when she was home alone with the singer at his Los Angeles mansion, he would text her and ask her to meet at places in the house that didn't have cameras. The woman alleges he would then assault her.
We do have evidence of some of the misconduct.
The complaint says the former employees didn't speak out or go to police because they were afraid of losing their livelihood, familial reprisal, and the possible adverse effect on their immigration status.
And having to tell their husband and children of these despicable acts against them left them overwhelmed with shame and embarrassment.
So you're telling me these women were married and they couldn't just quit?
Wife Frances also named in the lawsuit, accused of creating a hostile work environment and being aware of what was alleged and not doing anything to stop it.
These 4 courageous, and the filing of this lawsuit is the first step.
The complaint also accuses the Robinsons of not paying proper wages.
And we reached out to Robinson's record label about these allegations. We're still waiting to hear back.
Crazy. Let's read a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top commenter says, but Trump is president. Somebody else here added, the man is 85 years old. Why wasn't this addressed earlier? Of course, they think, this man's about to pass away. Can we find anything to probably rob him? Somebody else here says, same thing I was thinking. I would never victim shame, but It's a little weird to me to wait this long. Here's somebody else who says, if this last assault was in 2024, he was 84. Look at Smokey now. Ladies, stop it. I've never heard this, never. Somebody else here added, this gotta stop. They're trying to destroy these black men. Here's somebody else who says, record label going after his catalog. Interesting. Here's somebody else who says, here we go again. Another person here added, why wasn't Hugh Hefner charged with the crime? Right. I mean, the truth is the truth. And if it's right in front of your face, you got to call it out. I will not believe. There's no way. At some point, someone has to look around and say, hey, why is it always that a successful, famous black man is getting called out for this? This is not me saying that some of them aren't guilty. I'm just wondering, so you're telling me all the white men who were involved, or all the Hispanic men or Asian men or whatever, none of them were up to any shady business? I just find that hard to believe. Here's somebody else who says, here we go, 50 years later. Another person who says, nope, I don't believe it. Nope. And this is what happens when over and over again, you make false accusations that the public knows are probably a leap. People don't take this stuff seriously anymore. It's become so casual, right? It's like they just can't resist. Oh, maybe, just maybe we're going to win something from this. Oh, just maybe we're going to get somewhere with this. And the more they continue to do this over and over again, the more that the real victims are going to suffer. Somebody else who says 50M must be the going rate nowadays. I know, right? Right, because what other case was 50M? The Shannon Sharp case, right? That's about $50 million. It's a very good observation. Another person who says, I'm safe, I don't have 50M. Just know once you hit that 50M, then you are in trouble. People coming outside of the woodworks. There's somebody else who says she had a choice to go back to work for him for 18 years. She worked for him for 18 years. 18 years. This woman says she was probably undocumented and was unable to report or face deportation. Anyways, it was happening until 2024. Somebody else says, BS, maid jobs are easy to find. They were being paid below minimum wage. They could have left any time, but chose to stay for 18 years total. BS. What I think happens in a lot of these cases is, as you can imagine, you go and you work for this man who was very popular, very well known, very famous. And the temptation is probably, hey, one day he's going to make up for all this, right? He's going to leave me something. And maybe he fires you instead. Or, and I'm talking about the ones that agree and make stuff up. Maybe he fires you instead. What happens after that? Oh my goodness, you are my retirement plan. I have to now figure out what I'm going to do. And then comes the false charges and false claims. It's disgusting. And it's just hard to not point the obvious. Of course, guys, I'm curious to know what you think. Comment down below. To my soon-to-be married and currently engaged men, fathershaverights.com to access the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. We help you before you hire your attorney to understand how to avoid the most common mistakes and how to obtain a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.